On behalf of Westcoast Leaf and everyone here today, I'd like to acknowledge that this event takes place on unceded Indigenous land belonging to the Coast Salish peoples, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We are grateful for the opportunity to gather here this morning. As you get settled, I'd like to let you know a little bit about the agenda this morning. You'll find at your table two important things. One, a program outlining the agenda for this morning. And number two, a pledge card to be filled out for your chance to win a free night at the Empress Hotel in Victoria. So anyone who fills out that pledge card today will be entered to win this excellent prize. And you'll also be invited to join the speakers, the West Coast Leaf team, and myself for coffee after this morning's activities. So please call over a fabulous fundraising volunteer to hear about the best ways to contribute to West Coast Leaf this morning. They're the folks in red and some burgundy wandering through the room this morning. If you guys could just raise your hands and let people know who you are, and then you can call them over and they can give you all the information that you might need to help support this wonderful organization. We have a number of elected officials sharing breakfast with us this morning, representatives from all three levels of government. A big thanks to each of you for your commitment to women's equality. If I could please ask all of our representatives to stand, and if we've forgotten anyone, I do apologize, but joining us this morning, please stand, Vancouver's Deputy Mayor, Heather Deal. Andrea Reimer, Vancouver City Councillor. Raymond Louie, Vancouver City Councillor. Jeff Meggs, Vancouver City Councillor. Elizabeth Ball, Vancouver City Councillor. Patty Backus, Vancouver School Trustee. Joy Alexander, Vancouver School Trustee. Catherine Evans, Vancouver Park Board Commissioner. John Horgan, MLA and Leader of the Official Opposition. Mabel Elmore, MLA. Carol James, MLA. Spencer Chandra Herbert, MLA. Bruce Ralston, MLA. George Heyman, MLA. And BC's newest MLAs, Melanie Mark and Jody Wickens. And last but not least, MP Don Davies. Thank you all for joining us this morning. And again, apologies if there's anyone who's been left off the list. Oh, David Eby, of course, and I even said hello to you this morning. David Eby, MLA. I'd now like to introduce Mia Tagazada, so please welcome her. She is the chair of the Breakfast Committee.
Thank you so much, Erica, and it's fabulous to have you with us. Thank you. Hello, everyone. A few housekeeping items at first. You'll notice that we have a photographer, Kayla Isumura, who'll be walking around taking your photo today, documenting this wonderful event. If in the next few weeks and coming months, we'll use these photos in our newsletter and other communications. So if you do not wish to have your photo taken or shared, please let her know. Next, many of you have put in bids in the silent auction. Thank you for that. The auction will be closed at exactly 8:10, but we built a break into the program, so you'll have a final chance to put in those last-minute bids. And final housekeeping item, please turn off your cell phones and put them away. Unless you're live tweeting, then tweet away. Hashtag equality breakfast. Thank you. So now I'd like to thank our sponsors, without which this event could not be possible. First, we have our presenting sponsor, the BC Government and Service Employees Union. Thank you for your generous support. As well, to the CBC, our media sponsors here today. And frankly, this event would not be the tremendous success that it is without the commitment of law firms, legal organizations, unions, professional organizations, and other groups. So I want to recognize all of them. So in alphabetical order, it is Alexander Holborn, Bodan and Lang, Alavito, Quayle and Worth, Bennett Jones, Borden Ladner Gervais, BC Teachers Federation, Canadian Labour Congress, Pacific Regional Office, QPBC, Fasken Martineau, Federation of Post-Secondary Educators of BC, Gal Lage Grant and Monroe, Harper Gray, Health Sciences Association of BC, Hospital Employees Union, Jenkins Morris Van Logan, JFK Law Corporation, Lawson Lundell, Mandel Pinder, Miller Thompson, Moore Edgar Lister, National Union of Public and General Employees, PSAV, Stikeman Elliott, The Printing House, Trial Lawyers Association of BC, UFCW Local 1518, Unifor, Van City, Woodward and Company, and finally ZAW Legal Recruitment. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And finally, a heartfelt thanks to the volunteers of this year's breakfast who, believe it or not, contributed nearly 1,000 hours to making today a success, who came into the office week after week, making our lives much easier, and all the incredible volunteers here today. So thank you so much. Please. Now I'll turn it over to our interim executive director, Alison Bruin, to say a few words about what's been happening this year for Westcoast Leaf. We on the board were lucky enough to have Alison step back in as our fantastic executive director, regular executive director, Kasari Govender, went on parental leave. Alison was recently featured in the Georgia Straight as one of 6 noteworthy feminists fighting gender bias in Vancouver. About her work with the organization, they described it as, quote, she has played a pivotal role in the development of the group, spearheading numerous projects that benefit and protect women of all walks of life, end quote. We on the board couldn't agree more, so please help me welcome Alison Bruin, the pivotally important Alison Bruin.
Thank you so much, Mia, and thanks all of you. I know you've been thanked once, but I'll thank you all again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm back. This is actually the 3rd time I've served as interim executive director at Westcoast Leaf. I came to the organization in that very role back in 1999. I left to have my second baby, Molly, who is here with her other 15-year-old feminist friends over at Table 40. So whole humans have emerged since the day I walked through the door of Westcoast Leaf. It seems I simply can't stay away. And it's simple, really. I love the people, the values, and the legal tools that this organization deploys in their effort to advance equality in BC. I can't stay away from Westcoast Leaf because of the people. They're amazing, even when they're not the exact same ones any given year. The amazing women who serve on our board and give their guidance and support through all the challenges inherent in doing this work. I'd like to ask our current board members, please, if you wouldn't mind standing. Drina, Clea, Bronwyn, Eileen, Mia, Robin, well, you met Mia, Jenny, Joanna, Amber. We also have Nina, who's in Smithers, and Parvinder, who's on a mat leave. So thanks all of you for all your hard work. And I just want to do an experiment. I'd like to ask anyone here who served on the board of Westcoast Leaf to please stand. Yeah, you see? Awesome. Thank you all. Each and every one of you have made a difference to this organization. And now the staff, brilliant and hardworking. Hold your applause till the end if you don't mind, but if the current staff could stand as I say your name. Kendra, Director of Law Reform. Wave. She's somewhere. Basia, who you've seen wandering about organizing everything and everybody today. Alana, our Manager of Education. Shanaz, our Manager of Community Outreach. iPads, modern technology. Victoria, our Office Manager. Afi and Magali, who are coordinators of our youth programs here and in Kamloops, and also Leah from Nanaimo, who's not here with us today. Sharon, who's the breakfast coordinator, who is probably not in the room because she's out coordinating. And of course, Kasari, our regular executive director, who was going to be here but is sick. So, unfortunately. And I also want to say that I'm thrilled to introduce two new people to you. Raji Mangat, who is our new director of litigation, who's going to start at the end of this month. So Raji, if you're somewhere around, if you want to wave, there she is. No, that's it. Okay. Now, Raji's going to take on the litigation work that has been so capably managed by Kendra while Kasari's been away, which means Kendra can get back to her law reform work full time. And Raji will also work very closely with the students and supervising lawyers of our new women's legal clinic. Clap, clap, clap. So, last but not least, I want to introduce Kim Hawkins, who is the executive director of the new clinic. So, what's this about this women's legal clinic? Well, you're going to have to wait. I'm going to talk about it later. So, hang on. So, anyone who's had a paid position at Westcoast Leaf, do you want to stand up, please? Where are they? Okay. I just want to say that a lot of our board members are actually former students of Westcoast Leafs, so I'm not the only person who can't stay away. So why do I come back? Well, I come back because of the values of Westcoast Leaf. This organization doesn't always get things right, but it's never afraid to walk into the conversation. Let's face it, feminism isn't always simple. It's an ever-evolving movement. When I came out as a lesbian in the early 80s, we used to fight with the straight women about why does childcare matter more than my rights as a lesbian. The irony, and there's a number of ironies there, but one of them is that I now am a parent of 5 children. So I was 20, I was outraged. But of course, it's not always a joke. Unrecognized privilege causes great pain. And the struggle did when they told me that my issues mattered less at the time. Westcoast Leaf always strives to challenge each other's theoretical positions while still nurturing each other's humanity. But we made mistakes. But ultimately, our positions and practices are thoughtful, respectful, and inclusive. And we challenge each other all the time to use our privilege to open doors, not shut them. For example, I've always been very proud of Westcoast Leaf's concept of equality and what it means to be a woman. For more than a decade, we've had a policy that includes trans women as the women that they are. We cause harm. Thank you, everybody. We cause great harm when we exclude trans women from our movement. In the words of Rosemary Brown, we must open doors and see that they stay open so others can come through. So Westcoast Leaf's values and vision of equality is evident in all the work that we do. You'll see these values in our 8th annual CEDAW report card. This is a rigorously researched piece of public policy analysis measuring the government against international standards of gender equality. A report that the Georgia Straight called one of the most unreported stories of 2015. So you might want to get that document when you go out the door here. Our values show up in our public legal education programs that reached nearly 3,000 people around the province this year, most of them youth. In No Means No, Youth in the Workplace, and Trend Shift, which is our newest youth program, focused on legal rights and responsibilities when youth are online. We challenge youth attitudes and assumptions about gender, gender identity, and gender expression. In the Older Women's Dialogue Project, partnership with the Canadian Centre for Elder Law, we are close to publishing our newest offering, The Road to Safety, Legal Information for Older Women in BC, a booklet that outlines legal issues and solutions for elder women seeking to escape the violence that is in their lives. We've intervened in 5 cases in the Supreme Court of BC and up to the Supreme Court of Canada. Some cases are about the pernicious gender stereotypes that show up when women raise their voices to report sexualized violence. One is about the unique impact minimum sentencing has on women, and another is about the obligation of law schools to uphold constitutional rights and freedoms when they train future lawyers. Another important law reform initiative begun this year, thanks to the Law Foundation and the Health Sciences Association, is our Right to Childcare project. We're actively engaged in collecting affidavits from women about the impact of BC's underinvestment in childcare. Despite my 20-year-old self, we all know that women's equality in British Columbia will never occur if quality childcare remains a matter of wealth and privilege. All of these projects, thank you. All of these projects involve West Coast Leaf's mindful values and our desire to hold up a big roof in which everyone seeking compassion and justice can find comfort. The third reason I keep coming back to West Coast Leaf is because of the tools the organization applies to its work. Legal tools that continue to expand, and this year is the most exciting year of all for us. This is where I'm going to start talking about that clinic thing. Along with the legal tools of law reform and public legal education, we now have 4 amazing litigation tools to advance our vision of equality in the province that we all love. 1, interventions, the traditional tool of Leaf and West Coast Leaf, bringing our expertise to bear on matters already before the courts. 2nd, filing a claim as a third-party representative in the interests of women, a new tool we're honing in the interests of access to justice with our friends at BCPAC. Representing women in test cases that have systemic implications, something Raji will be able to lead us with as a result of our most exciting opportunity in the form of, wait for it, the Women's Legal Clinic. In partnership with our friends at Allard School of Law at UBC, after over a decade of asking others to act on the pressing need for access to justice in family law for women, West Coast Leaf has secured the funding to open a full representation women's legal clinic in May of 2016. So our values, our credibility, our expertise on this issue has attracted the confidence of a group of private donors, some of whom are with us today, an anonymous donor, we don't even know the name of this person, and the partnership of the Allard Law School to make this dream a reality. We will now have the ability to provide direct representation to women, including self-identified women. The clinic will be a learning place for students, a gathering place for activists, a one-stop shop for women forced to bounce back and forth between services and legal resources as they navigate the complexities of the legal system in an effort to claim what they have a legal right to. So unfortunately, Kasari is not here, but what I want to tell you is that this is all because of the incredible vision and work that she's done in the last couple of years. So I want you to all clap in honor of Kasari because we're videotaping it. So thank you so much, Kasari. So you see why I can't stay away. It's just really too exciting. There's so much great work going on, and you don't need to stay away either. So I'm going to ask Mia to come up, and we're going to tell you how you can stay connected to us all year long. So this is the moment. I'll let you go first.
So Allison just described some of the remarkable work that goes on at West Coast Leaf. We're all quite proud of it. And now you are at our largest fundraiser of the year, and frankly, the only large fundraiser we do. So if you were thinking as Allison was speaking, wow, that's great, how can I help? This is it. For me, since my firm bought my ticket, by matching that amount, I can be personally invested. So I encourage you to do the same. Make that individual contribution here today, match your ticket price, give or take, emphasis on give, and any donation at all helps. So that's how you can be involved.
And I just want to add, too, that one of the best ways to give is monthly giving. And if you want to match your ticket, that's only $8 a month. So in front of you, you'll find there's a pledge card, and here's where we're going to get you to look at the pledge card. You're going to hold it in your hands. You're just going to kind of hang out with it for a minute. You look at it, and you think, I'm going to be a monthly giver. I want to be a monthly giver because it means that we can plan. It means that we have independence from the cycle and limitations of project grants. It means low admin costs and high program impact. It means we can play the long game. For example, it took us 12 years to protect the no protest zone around abortion services in this province. 12 years before it finally got resolved. So that's just how long this work takes. Monthly donations of $5, $50, that's what I give every month. Just so we all know, I give $50 a month. So it's not hard, you can all do it. No. Or $100, which a lot of people here actually give $100 a month, so please, please do that. The Law Foundation is our foundation, and we love them very dearly for what they do for us. But we can't do what we do alone, and frankly, sorry, Law Foundation, the interest rates are not going up anytime soon. So please, take a moment, fill out your card, look at it again, there's a space for your name, you'll see monthly. donation. So we're doing well here time-wise. Okay, good. You have lots of time to fill out your pledge card, so just wait for a minute. What we're going to do now actually is take a break, and we're going to let you do the silent auction things and sign on that. We're going to come back in 10 minutes, which will be 8 o'clock, and we'll close the silent auction a few minutes later at 8:05, and then we can get going with the speakers. Okay, so take the time, fill out your pledge card, call over those fundraising volunteers, and take this 10 minutes to go and bid again on your silent auction items, and we'll call you back when we're ready to go. Okay? Thanks everybody very much.